Alright guys, so just like I promised on my first channel, we're finally going to be covering the Pouya allegations, and before we even get into it, I just want to preface this a little bit, because I know a lot of people are going to say you're dragging up old rumors that happened years ago, but at the same time, everybody kind of knows about this already, but doesn't have the full scope of the story. I'm sure everybody who's watching this video right now has heard whispers or little pieces of what went down, but they've never been fully exposed to the entire thing, so all I want to do is make a video, read it all over. I'm not saying that it's actually true, I'm not saying that it's false, I just think that we should be able to talk about these things online and have a discussion about it, so that's what we're going to do. Let's get right into it. So basically I got an imager here where all the accusations have been put together. This is all the way back from April 22nd, 2017, which is a little bit earlier on than I actually thought this all came out, but it goes on to say Pouya and Fat Nick assault. So some of you already know about this, but for the first time ever I actually want to make it public and post about it. I know there's going to be a few people who don't believe me or don't want to believe me, but I'm going to tell it anyways. Back in April I went to go see Ghostman, Fat Nick, and Pouya at Chacus in Virginia Beach. I was super excited and even bought a VIP pass. When I met them, Pouya asked me to come back to the hotel with them. I should have known from there that it was not going to be a good time for me, but alas, like anyone in that situation, I was excited and wanted to go, so I went. When I was there, I went to the wrong room. I went to that room because I heard Fat Nick's voice, so I had thought that maybe the guy gave me the wrong room number. I look back at that now and think maybe if I had gone to the one they gave me, that things wouldn't have ended the way they did. Pouya answered the door, asked me for my phone because he didn't want me taking photos of him like I was some sort of paparazzi, and took me to another room. For him, his producer, and his merch guy took advantage of me. I'm not going to go into detail because typing this out alone is really hard for me, and I didn't really want to post about it until now. I just remember feeling so disgusted with myself after it happened. I wish I had never gone to that hotel. A lot of people I know are fans of Pouya, and I hate seeing his name on anything. And again, I know there will be people who don't want to believe me, but it needs to be said. Also, when it happened, he was still with Coco or whatever, so yeah, that's it. Thanks. After that, we have a screenshot of her talking to Pouya. She says, hey. He says, what's up? She said, just checking in, just chilling. What about you? He said, about to leave to the venue and then go to our hotel. Do you want to come through? She says, yep, just send me the address or let me know which hotel. I don't know. I'm about to get there. I'll let you know which one. Okay, cool. He then goes on to say it's mad close to the venue. She says, for sure. I'm not from here, so I don't know about any hotels here. Haha, but I'm sure it'll be easy to find. He then gives the address. Okay, on my way. Just looking for parking. I'm here at the parking lot. He then says, come up to room 418. Okay, I actually found parking, so I'll be there shortly. After that, apparently things got so bad at the hotel room that she would have to reach out to her friend and get him to pick her up. She says, Josh, I want to leave. He says, what's going on? She said, the weirdest shit happened. I don't like it, and my car is a good walking distance away. I just want to leave and go to sleep and never speak of tonight. I'm on my way. Thank you. I'm leaving now. I'll be there in 10 minutes. There's then follow-up messages from the next day. She wakes up and says, as soon as I got into your car, when you got me, I couldn't hold it anymore and I started crying. I don't know if you remember that or not. He said, yeah, I knew something happened yesterday because Anel was telling me she was pissed about something, and I was there. I watched you get my car. I have the original messages like that. It's not okay. I feel so lost. I'm sorry. She then goes on to say, I know I just yelled at you and you probably hate me right now, but I'm going to the cops today. If it goes to court, would you possibly be a witness? He said, I deserve to be yelled at. I f***ed up and I'm sorry. I don't hate you, and yeah. Not really sure what went down between the two of them, but either way, it seems like the girl wanted to take it to court at one point. So that's the end of the first story. That's the primary one that I was talking about initially, and I think that's the one that really got big and blew up. Mostly when I've heard about Pouya and his allegations, they all have to do with that one Ghostman tour, so I think this is the main story from there, but there is another story after that. This next story that we have comes from a second party talking about their friend's experience, saying, yeah, it happened to my friend as well. He was definitely with Coco at the time too. He picked her out and told her what room to go to, but they were all in there. They took her phone and pretty much said, if you want to turn, you gotta suck Fat Nick's while we all watched, and she did that while they all watched and laughed. And then they all took turns with her, but she still loves Pouya and thinks that it was a good thing because they made her feel special because they picked her or whatever, so she doesn't really see it as being victimized and taken advantage of. But your story sounds a lot like hers. So it's a little confusing here because the next couple screenshots that we have supposedly take place a couple days before the first story. This happened on the Ghostman tour as well, but like 3 or 4 days before. We have some messages between Flexitelli and a girl. If you don't know who Flexitelli is, he's basically somebody in Pouya's posse, a producer, but it's not that important I guess for this type of story. He says, you want to come to the hotel with Pouya and Fat Nick? She says, I'm down. He says, are you about it? Yeah, I am. Gotta drop the kid off real quick. He says, how old are you? She says, 20. He sends the devil emoji. Alright, Pouya and Nick don't want phones because of pics. Is that okay? You can bring it, but it will be put away. So at least they do check ages. I mean, that definitely is a good thing. It should be standard in the underground, but as we've seen in the past, people don't tend to do that, so we gotta give them that one, but taking away the phone is a little bit weird. Pouya does actually have a reason for taking people's phones away. Apparently, when he was hanging out with some fans events in early 2012, he went to go take a shower and one of the girls tried to take a picture of him naked, so it's kind of understandable, but at the same time, it's a little weird to take somebody's only way of communicating away from them. We then have her explaining what went down in the hotel room. She said they didn't take my phone, Pouya just tried holding me down and shit so Fat Nick could me, and then we were gonna switch so Pouya could me. Germ was there too, but he wasn't really into the whole thing like the way that she was. Germ was actually really nice and apologized to me when I started crying. My cousin them, literally all of them, but I didn't. I was explaining to Germ that I wasn't into gangbangs and he completely understood, which is why he's the only one that I respect. Now, this is the main story that I've heard of Pouya, that apparently him and Fat Nick ended up taking advantage of a girl. I actually didn't think Fat Nick was involved, but this story says that apparently he was. And then apparently Germ had to calm her down after everything went down, which seems to be a good thing, but at the same time, it could also be a bad thing. We would have to know exactly what was said, but it seems like there's pretty well two ways that this could have gone. Maybe Germ really did feel bad about the situation, as he is a bit older than the rest of them and actually did talk her down. Or it's possible that he was just running defense for his homies and he had to protect them, so basically he talked to her to try to normalize it and not make it seem as bad as it actually was, but I'm not sure one way or another. We then have one final story where somebody says, I just want to share my experience. I went to a meet and greet during the UU tour and I was last in line. My friends were waiting for me near the merch table where Pouya's brother was. They were asked to leave by him because he said that I was going to take a few minutes to come out because Pouya was going to have his way with me. I took a couple pictures and left because I felt the negative vibes through my friends' faces in the window once I saw that they had been shown outside. Oh my god, thank you for this. And then we have a random retweet at the end. I'm not really sure why this is relevant or why it matters to the overall story if this person is important, but they say, listen, I don't know this girl, but I can back that their merch dude is trash. And for now, that's basically all that's in that imager folder. That's basically all of the allegations that I could find. A lot of them seem to have been wiped offline. I mean, there was an entire article written about it at one point in 2018, so clearly there must have been a little bit more. Although I do think it's kind of strategic the way that these stories are up online. Oftentimes when a rapper's accused, they try to take absolutely everything down related to their accusations off of the internet. But if you leave just enough up that when people search up allegations, something still comes up, but it seems pretty benign and not too bad, then, well, you're basically off the hook, where if you actually take every single one down, well, then people are going to think, why are all the allegations taken down? It makes it seem like you're trying to hide something. So leaving some of them up is definitely a good idea when it comes to optics. But besides that, that's all of my opinion I'm going to give on this one. I just wanted to read these out so everybody can kind of understand what's going on with the whole Pouya allegations, even though for the most part they haven't been spoken on that much. This is them. Some of them at least. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Besides that, shout out Knife Gang. See you in the next one. Peace.